Hi, and welcome to the Boss Body Podcast. This is Sarah Haas. I am so glad you're here with me today. And I have one question for you. Are you an emotional eater? Yeah, I'm diving right in because this topic touches on so many lives of so many women that I come in contact with. And so I want to talk to you today about how to release physical and emotional weight and how to let go of that emotional eating. So we can relate, right? We've all been there. We're reaching for a bag of chips or some chocolate after we've had a long day. And it's not because we're hungry, but it's because we're exhausted or we're stressed or for some other reason besides hunger. And then that guilt comes in and that shame. And we're mad at ourselves for losing control again, or for not having willpower, or for not having discipline. And it's something that so many of us struggle with. So if this is you, just believe me when I say you're not alone. And it's something that keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck in that losing and gaining pattern. We're wanting to get healthy. We're doing the right things. And then we keep getting tripped up by this. We are doing exactly what we say we're not going to do. And then that's why we feel so bad. So, I want to talk to you today about why this is such an issue and really break it down and then give you some tools so that we can start breaking this cycle. And in order to break the cycle, we first have to become aware of what's really behind it, what's really driving these cravings, and what's going on under the surface. So, first, let's talk about what exactly is emotional eating. Well, emotional eating is simply turning to food to deal with emotions or stress or for whatever reason, trying to make ourselves feel better. And there's a number of reasons we do this. First of all, it can be a distraction or an avoidance behavior. We're turning to food to soothe ourselves or to escape from something or to stuff down difficult emotions or situations. Maybe it's a conflict that we have going on that we need to face, or some kind of decision that you need to make, or an issue in a relationship or with your job or with a family situation. Whatever it is, it's something that can feel really overwhelming, and it's really natural to try to just turn away and procrastinate dealing with things that seem difficult. And the second reason we often eat emotionally is because we're trying to numb out. We're avoiding or numbing out these painful feelings. And eating is something that can help fill us up. For many of us, food has been a constant companion. If we feel disconnected or we're dealing with some kind of loss or grief, or we don't have the intimate friendships or romantic relationships we're wanting, food can help serve as a way to fill that void. So we're eating in order to fill us up, to give us something that we're missing. Another reason it pops up a lot is stress and anxiety, which so many of us are dealing with our jobs, with our families, with everything we have going on in life. And food is a really quick fix. It's very calming and it gives us that sense of comfort. And especially with sugar and processed foods, because they have been medically proven to trigger the release of these feel good hormones that help you feel happy and help you feel relaxed. And that's one of the reasons we often go to the sugary and the not so healthy stuff. Another reason is boredom. Quite simply, boredom. We're looking for something to do. We have a lack in our lives of excitement or joy or creativity, and we're just turning to food simply because we're bored. And this one's a huge one for me. We turn to food a lot of times because we're tired. we're drained, we're exhausted, and food gives you energy. It gives you kind of that quick boost, especially sugary or starchy kind of carby foods. It gives you that quick boost of energy, but then that's followed by the crash, and then you're tired again, and you're reaching for more food before you know it. And that's that endless cycle that keeps repeating itself. And the last one is just habit. You relate food to dealing with emotions so much that you may not even realize it when you're doing it. So emotions come up and you're automatically reaching for that treat to numb out, to avoid, or whatever without even realizing it. And then that just becomes a habit that you're doing over and over and over again. And we learn these emotional eating patterns really on in life. Think about a child who gets candy after they've achieved something and as a reward for a job well done, or a kid who is giving cookies as a way to stop crying. And we learn to link these sweets with comfort. And we all need to feel good. We all deserve to feel good. And like I said before, food lights up those pleasure centers in our brains, especially the sugar and processed foods. Everybody has to find a way to feel better. Some people use alcohol or drugs or sex or work or shopping or gambling. Everyone uses something to help themselves feel good if they don't have the right tools. And food is a socially acceptable way of giving ourselves that boost and helping us feel better and giving us a boost of energy. Like think about when you go through a breakup, your girlfriends show up with a pint of ice cream and a bottle of wine, or you come home from a long day and it's very acceptable to just say, "Oh my goodness, I need a glass of wine," or "I've had a tough week and I need some comfort food." And the other thing is, food is so accessible. It's easy to get, it's everywhere. It can be really inexpensive, especially the junky stuff. So it's just a really, really easy fix. So I want you to know that you are not flawed. There is nothing wrong with you. This is common. This is something so many women struggle with. And understanding this and then offering ourselves compassion instead of going straight to self-criticism and shame, because that is exactly what keeps us stuck. We eat, we feel bad for eating, we feel like we failed, and when we feel bad, we need something to help us feel good again. And then we end up going back to the food. So it's this never ending cycle. And I want to give you some tools today so that you can help break that cycle. So at the beginning of the show, I asked you, are you an emotional eater? So I want to help you decide, help you kind of break that down and figure it out, because awareness is the first step to changing any behavior. And so awareness of, am I actually hungry? Or is this a craving that I'm having for another reason? So, is this hunger a physical issue or is it an emotional issue? So, I want to talk to you about the difference between a craving and actual hunger. First of all, a craving is usually for some kind of comfort food like chocolate or sweets or something crunchy or salty or fatty foods. And if you're actually hungry, you're not just zeroing in on some exact food that you're dying to have. Most foods will sound good because you're actually hungry. So you can, be open to a variety of food, not just some special comfort food. The second thing with emotional eating is it's often associated with emotions. Like I said before, stress, anger, sadness, loneliness, boredom, anxiety, all of those things. And if you're actually hungry, it's a physical need. It's more of a physical need, and you'll feel it in your body. Your stomach will be rumbling, or you'll have a headache, or you'll start kind of feeling weak or shaky or hangry. And then emotional eating can often occur soon after you have already eaten. So let's say you've eaten a good dinner, you know you got plenty of protein, you know you've filled your body, and then you're getting a craving later at night when the house gets quiet and dark. I know we've all been there. So that can be a sign that you are having a craving for emotional reasons and not for hunger. An actual hunger will occur when you haven't eaten for a while, right? If it's been 4 or 5 hours since your last meal, then the physical hunger obviously is going to come on. And the last one I want to mention is that emotional eating, if you can pause, if you can do something else, distract yourself, wait a few minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes, the craving will usually subside. With hunger, that's not going to happen. You're going to feel hungry, then you're going to have more hunger, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse until you eat. Here's some signs if you're eating for the emotional reasons. One is eating when you're not really hungry. You're snacking, even though your body's not really asking for food. This happens often late at night when the day is done and the house gets quiet. And another time that I see it very frequently pop up is in the afternoon, especially if you're at work or you've had a busy day or it's been stressful and it's kind of that afternoon. Wow, I really need something. I need a pick me up. I need a sugary, sweet, frou-frou coffee, or I want some chocolate, that kind of thing. And another cue is if you're eating really quickly or mindlessly. So it can really happen just on autopilot and you're not really even paying attention. You just sort of grab for some food and then scarf it down and you're not even really savoring it or noticing it or enjoying it. And then the big key that you're eating emotionally is feeling guilty or ashamed afterwards. You're beating yourself up for giving in again. And like I said, after you beat yourself up, you feel bad. And then that just triggers even more emotional eating. So, how do we overcome this pattern? How do we stop this cycle? I have some tools to give you that are really going to help you start taking away the power of the food and taking away that guilt and that shame. And number one is be a detective, right? Get curious. Awareness is always the first step. So if you are aware that you are eating for reasons other than hungry, what are you really craving? I mentioned some of the things earlier. Are you craving comfort? Are you craving stress release? So, what is it you're craving? Just get curious and then think about how you could get those needs met. So, when a craving comes on, it can be really, really helpful to step away and do something like journaling, do something like deep breathing. I like to just sit outside or somewhere quiet where I can just clear my mind and sort of think about what is it that's going on and what do I need. And doing this will just start to allow those emotions to come up in a gentle way. And I want to stress that you should go at your own pace. You don't have to go down a huge rabbit hole. This can be 5 minutes. You don't have to figure this all out at once. You're not going to be able to, right? This has been going on for a while. You're not going to figure it out in one night. But ask yourself, what's going on? Am I stressed? Am I sad? Am I anxious about something? Or is there an event in my life that I'm struggling, that I'm having trouble dealing with? Or what am I missing in my life? And then once you kind of have an idea of what's going on, The next step is to find something that will feel loving and supportive for you in that moment. If you're feeling anxious, you could get up and move. You could do some body movement, dance, or take a walk, something that will release that nervous energy. Or if loneliness is what's coming up, you could call a friend. One of the ones I like to do if I'm home alone and I'm feeling lonely is snuggle with my pets. I'm a cat lady, so that can really bring your anxiety level down and help you feel cozy and comfy and loved. You could look through photos. You could think about people that you love. I like to think about my kids, obviously. Or if you're feeling super exhausted or if you're feeling overwhelmed, maybe you just need a soothing bath or sip a cup of tea or wrap yourself in a cozy blanket. Or if you're bored, do something creative, try something new, read a book, do something that will bring you joy in that moment and help shift your focus away from the food. And then long term, another thing you can do is build healthy, supportive, regular self care habits. Because when you're balanced physically and emotionally, you're going to be so much less likely to turn to food for comfort. And it also goes such a long way in managing stress and emotional triggers. Some of the things you want to focus on are exercise, just finding a form of movement that you enjoy, yoga, walking, dancing, whatever, because exercise boosts your mood. It releases those same feel good hormones that food releases. So if you're getting those on the regular, you're not going to need it as much and be craving it through getting it for food with food. And the other thing is prioritize your sleep. You need 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep every night. If you are getting more sleep, you're going to have less need for energy the next day, and you're just going to feel calmer. You're going to feel better. You're going to feel more clear headed. You'll be able to deal with stress better. And then this one's huge, and it's something a lot of women don't do is make time for relaxation, for self-care. Give yourself permission to do something for yourself every single day, at least 30 minutes, if not an hour. And that can be reading a good book or just resting. I love to sit out on my back deck and just listen to the sounds of nature and do nothing. We feel guilty when we do that. But when you take time to relax, you are bringing down that fight and flight, that cortisol reaction in your body that builds up from stress all day long. And when you do that, you are going to have less need to eat to help yourself feel calm. And another one is stay connected to others. This will keep you from feeling lonely. So spend time with people who you enjoy, with people who lift your mood, with people you have fun with people who are supportive, because it's these emotional connections that keep you from feeling isolated or lonely. And lastly, be kind and be patient with yourself. This takes time. Like I said, if you have been turning to food to comfort yourself and to feel better for a long time, change takes time. It's step by step. And every step you take is towards self love and self care and healthier habits and having a more balanced relationship with yourself, with your emotions, and with food. So I have a free resource that can help you even more with overcoming emotional eating and with releasing the physical and the emotional weight. And it's an overcome emotional eating support bundle. And I created it to help you release what's weighing you down. And it's a three-part video training series. All the videos are bite-sized. They're less than 5 minutes. And in the videos, I'm going to guide you through three gentle steps that will help you break free from emotional eating and help you finally feel lighter and at peace with food and with your body. And you'll also receive a Pause and Nourish self care toolkit, which will give you journaling prompts to help you explore your triggers a little deeper and start figuring out what is really going on beneath the surface. And it also comes with a Nourish Me menu with lots of suggestions and soothing alternatives. And then I'm also going to give you a self-compassion ritual. It's a meditation to help you calm your cravings and to help you meet your needs in deeply supportive ways. I want to thank you so much for listening in. It is my honor to help be a support, to help guide you, to help give you suggestions and ideas to help you along on your health journey. And as you know, health isn't just about the physical, it's also about the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. So I hope this episode helps you get some ideas and helps give you some aha moments so that you can learn to be kind to yourself. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.